Hi everyone, this is Kang with a different set of gadgets and gizmos brought to you by Palit. We'll be discussing more and more Palit products as we go along, and I'll be giving you insights about what to expect from their product lineup along with a short overview of what it has to offer. So today we have here the latest Palit RTX 3080 GameRock, also known as the Dazzling Angel. So what are we waiting for? Let's go and unbox this. Here. The first thing that you'll see is the Palit graphics card manual. It's just a small folded pamphlet, and underneath we have here an 8 to 12 pin PCIe adapter, GPU bracket. Okay, so we have here the GeForce RTX logo. The accessories for the bracket also included the screws. So it has a plastic filter, so before you use this, you need to just remove the filter first. So now let's move on with the graphics card. Okay, this is a chunky graphics card and it just looks so pretty. Let's remove this out of this plastic. Okay. Whoa, look at that! Can I just stare at her for a moment?
The Palit RTX 3080 GameRock is equipped with Nvidia's Ampere Architecture with a GA102 GPU, packing 28 billion transistors on the 8nm node and 2th generation of RT cores and 3rd generation Tensor cores. The RTX 3080 now comes with 8704 CUDA cores and a boost clock of 1860 MHz. Additionally, it has a standard 10GB GDDR6X support running at 320-bit and memory bandwidth of 760GB per second. It also now supports PCIe 4.0 with a maximum resolution of 7680 by 4320 for up to 4 monitors. This enables the RTX 3080 to provide optimal performance no matter what game you're playing. The Palit GeForce RTX 3080 GameRock is something that you either love or hate, but personally, I love the crystal-like aesthetics that you initially see out of the box, and especially when you plug it in your PC. Instead of fitting a matte plastic shroud on some RGB, they place an all-out RGB with some plastic shroud. It has a very distinct look with a crystalline cut plastic design to catch, diffuse, and reflect light. The RGB can be changed up using the new Thundermaster software from Palit's website. Aside from the RGB, overclocking can also be done there. Going further into the design, it has a 2-die casting molded aluminum alloy armor that fully covers the circuit board and directly attaches to all the hot spots on the PCB, providing rigid protection along with optimized heat dissipation. While right in front, we see the Palit's Turbofan 3.0 that now has 2 ball bearings to reinforce fan stability. With that, we see IP5X dust-resistant technology and lower fan vibration, prolonging fan life expectancy. The Palit RTX 3080 GameRock requires 3 8-pin power connectors to boot with a minimum power supply requirement of 850 watt. Output connectors consist of an HDMI 2.1 enabling 4K at 120Hz or 8K at 60Hz on a single cable. Other outputs are 3 DP 1.4A. Now, we move on to some tests that we made using the newly built Project Kang 3.0. Initially, we ran 3D Mark, which is a staple for most benchmarks for some time now. This is a computer benchmarking tool created and developed by UL to represent the performance of a PC's 3D graphic rendering and CPU workload processing capabilities. Of course, the higher numbers indicate better performance. Here, we see more than 20% performance improvements compared to the previous generation's RTX 2080 Ti. Next, we tested the Palit RTX 3080 GameRock on various games that had a benchmarking tool. We ran them at the highest settings while partnered with CapFrameX to record the data for average FPS and the 1% percentile. We did 4 different phases wherein we ran it with games without RTX and DLSS on their highest settings with 1080p and 1440p resolutions. Then lastly, games with RTX and DLSS, again on the same resolution and their highest settings. At this point, it is clear that running any game at 1080p is pretty much just overkill, and it is recommended to get monitors with 1440p resolutions or higher. Cyberpunk, being one of the most demanding games in the market, was able to run at 73 FPS average without RTX and 76.3 FPS average with RTX. Considering these are set on highest settings, the Palit RTX 3080 shows that it is more than capable to handle the most demanding games to date that have and will be coming out in the market. Real-time ray tracing enables a level of realistic lighting and shading that is never before seen in any game. One of the games that is possible on is what we are seeing now, Call of Duty Cold War. Ray tracing enables the generation of an image by tracing the path of light as pixels and simulating the effects of its encounters with virtual objects. With the current games in the market that RTX can be enabled on, we see the difference in lighting, shading, and reflection. As seen in the story mode of COD Cold War, a definite difference is seen with the way things are reflected on the water, the rendering of shadows, and how light falls and projects on virtual objects. Though it has an additional stress on the graphics card load and may cause lowered FPS, it enables a more immersive gaming experience for gamers. Additionally, deep learning supersampling, or better known as DLSS, boosting the frame rates of the game despite the graphic load, enabling decent frame rates despite additional graphical improvement. Nvidia enables a new feature all the way back to the GTX 900 series to lower input lag in games like Valorant, Call of Duty, Apex Legends, Fortnite, and other games. This is known as the Nvidia reflex. To enable it, simply go to the settings and under the video tab and general subcategory, scroll all the way down to find the Nvidia reflex low latency option. Enabling the Nvidia reflex should minimize the in-game latency, but the additional boost to your game's performance can also be enabled with additional on plus boost option. Fair warning to those that would utilize this, the GPU clock would be kept high. If you don't see it, ensure that your Nvidia drivers are updated to the latest version. Nevertheless, a significant change in-game would be experienced during the next match. The low latency helps land better shots while the boost improves FPS counter. From experience, the reflex increases responsiveness on mouse clicks. In conclusion, the higher the frame rates have always been a way to competitive matches. This has been seen as one of the game deciding factors in most competitive gameplays. With our Call of Duty Cold War gameplay, our settings are placed at maximum graphics with RTX on, and we still get a decent 96 FPS average. And now in Valorant, we see a stable 200 plus FPS during this match, allowing better reaction time when spotting opponents. Nvidia has made it possible to win with a frame rate advantage along with their newly added Nvidia reflex.
that's it for this Palit RTX 3080 GameRock graphics card. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and if you want to know more about this product, do check out www.kangdupet.com. See you there. Bye.